Not on my phone, you're not. What?
Click on the channel. See if it created a new one. Like, go back to the main.
It's not 9 yet.
Yeah.
Go back to the main channel though. See if it's doing a different
Bro, I'm
video.
clicking the direct link.
I know, but I'm saying go to our channel and see if it shows that we're live, and if it's showing it may have done a different link.
Nospūn is live. Click it. God almighty.
So it's a different link. Okay.
Is it?
Oh. Alright.
Is it?
All right, hold up. Well, people are popping in. Do we just stay on this one, I guess? Should we reshare the link?
Yeah, James, you want to reshare the link, just in case it's the wrong one?
I think it is the wrong one.
Awesome.
Technical difficulties.
That's weird.
Plus, I can't see the comments.
I can.
Yeah, we got comments coming.
How are you seeing that?
Do you have the YouTube app?
Yes, but I clicked the link and it opened it up through freaking Facebook.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Interesting. That's weird. You should be able to go to our page.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hi!
Yes.
Technical difficulties.
What's the point of having technology if it doesn't work? Sorry, user error. Hi.
Hello there.
It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me.
All right. We'll probably get this more underway as more people show up, assuming the link is right.
Come on, baby.
Oh. Go check it as well.
Okay.
Hello. Yes. Come to Chile.
Yeah? We would love to.
Indeed, we would. Very much so.
Did we have that one?
Oh,
I think so.
there you go.
Whew.
Okay. Get all this stuff queued up.
Yeah, the old
Anybody
link
got the,
seems to be bad. Huh?
It's bad?
Yeah.
Seems to be. Like when I went and clicked on it, it took us to a different one. Or
That's
something.
Not how that should work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm assuming since it asked me if I wanted to resume at that point. I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
So we might as well have done this on the dang laptop.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh well. We're here.
Hi guys.
Let's work with it.
We'll just
Somebody
do we want to? I guess let's do a proper introduction or whatever.
somebody get on the social, make sure that everyone knows just to go to Facebook and check the live link, like not the link that's on Facebook.
Okay.
If people are trying to connect through that, they're going to be.
Yeah, they'll just want to go to the YouTube channel.
So let's make a quick post.
Yeah, okay, just go
James, yeah. Go to just tell them to go to YouTube and go to Nospūn's channel.
Yeah, but if they pull up our YouTube channel, it should literally just say we're live, and they can click that button.
Yas!
YouTube.
Discovered you guys in December. You very quickly became by far my favorite band with Opus. Well, thank you, Nell.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Michael, what said? Please what? Please keep going. Please keep singing T Swift because I know you love it. Is that what you want?
We can do some T-Swift.
Nice. It looks to me like he said, like, come to Philly. I feel
Oh,
like that's
come to
probably what
Philly.
he's saying.
I thought he was affectionately calling me Philly, and I was like, oh damn, I already have a nickname.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so if it wasn't clear enough that we're doing this is our first live Q&A. We're just taking your questions. We've got a couple questions in from Instagram and Facebook and various socials, so we'll kind of like maybe start off with some of those, but by all means, drop questions in the live chat, and we'll try to answer them as they come up to the best of our ability.
Okay.
So,
Love you too, boo boo.
Okay, all right. Let's a bit of shout out to that.
Cole, you got to pull up the questions on the Facebook.
yeah, we'll do a one from Facebook. So, Let's see. I mean, I'll you know what? Let me make it so that it'll show all of them instead of just it's like most relevant or whatever.
Right.
Right on.
Okay, so let's tackle this one, and we'll likely probably be answering this same question multiple times throughout the night.
Sure, yeah.
So Raphael Bernard says Hellfest in parentheses France 2025, and we'll give the same answer to that we'll give basically like any questions about shows or touring and everything,
Right.
which is sounds great. We would love to.
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't have. We have very few solidified live plans right now.
Yeah.
We're on the books for Prague Power in Atlanta in September this year. We have one other booked like local show that we'll probably be announcing kind of soon. It's just going to be something local to Charlotte, you know.
Yep.
But you know, anyone willing to travel to Charlotte for it, we'll talk about it later. We'll post about that on the social.
Yeah.
So I imagine we'll probably be multiple times tonight saying like, you know, as an answer to the come to Brazil kind of thing. Yeah,
love to.
Would love to.
Would love
for sure.
to.
I guess the best thing we can say is just like keep spreading the word or whatever, so that there's enough people to, you know, I guess justify coming down.
I actually want to elaborate, not to let too much out of the bag, but we've actually been in talks with a particular gentleman for management, and he's already got some things kind of in the works to try and, you know, get us playing out. So that's all I can say about that right now. Nothing solid, but just know the shows are coming. They're on their way. So keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, stay on the socials.
Stay on the socials.
Turn on those notification bells and all that fun.
All right, let's hop back on this for a second. Thank you, Nathan, Huntersville.
What's up, Nathan?
Hope to see you at the local show when we announce it. Do we want to go ahead and announce it? Is it official?
It's not official yet. So we have to hold on.
Son of a. Okay,
I know.
just keep, once again, socials.
James. It's
but-
James.
Shut up.
Joseph is like, discovered you guys off the Sea of Tranquility channel. Is Opus available on CD?
Yes, it is.
Indeed, it
Golf
is.
clap,
You
golf
can. Where can they acquire it, James?
Well, you can get it off of our Bandcamp. We have both signed versions and unsigned versions.
Signed is almost sold out, and
Yeah.
we're not making any more. So get them while they're hot.
Yes.
Speaking
If
of-
you live in Europe, we have a place I think in Germany called Just for Kicks that is selling our CD. There it is. It's beautiful.
Yes,
show the
yes.
back.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
song titles.
Yes,
It's very unique.
they're nice. We are very official now.
We spend tens of dollars on that. Now,
Now, we'll say at this very moment, like, and this may change in the future as if we happen to get signed, if distribution changes, but at this moment, all of the CDs are essentially like at some point getting shipped somewhere by us. So if
Yeah.
you're ordering like directly from our Bandcamp, it's coming straight from us. So chances are high that like our actual skin cells have touched the CD
Yes.
packaging.
yes.
Dandruff.
Maybe a couple boogers.
If you're ordering from Just for Kicks in Europe, we still ship
We
those
still ship
CDs
those.
to those. So
And
yeah,
we recommend all our European fans buy from them
yeah.
if you can, because if you buy directly from the website, we hadn't sourced a particular way to get around the exorbitant shipping costs, so you're going to pay more than the CD just for your shipping. So if
Yeah.
you can,
Yeah.
buy it, you know, in-house, Just for Kicks.
All right, we're gonna want to smash through questions fast.
Cool.
Because we've got.
Well, I mean, we're you know, getting
Yeah,
a
we're
lot of
getting
preliminary stuff. Let's hit one from Facebook.
Sure. Okay, let's see. Lucas Hanchett asks, is Opus a concept album, and if so, from the band's perspective, how would you describe the story of the album?
It is not. All the songs are random.
You're a son of a bitch. Yes, concept album. In fact, we've been talking about it for a while, but I think it's finally time to solidify it. We're going to make content about it I think it'd be great YouTube video content for us to actually release a detailed cataloging of the story. You want the overarching view, read the lyrics, you'll get the gist of that. Otherwise, keep your eyes on YouTube because we're probably going to share the story on there.
I will say there are also there's a couple interviews out there. I think most of the interviews we've done so far, the interviewers have asked us about the story, and usually that's either me, Cole, hi, or Phil over there, explaining what the story is. And so yeah, in all likelihood, if you just Google Nospūn interview, you will probably find an interview where we're talking about the story. That's going to be your best way of getting the most detail right now. If we release a video in the future, obviously that'll change.
Yeah. Heading right into one on the live chat that kind of piggybacks off that. Nell's the 2 instrumental tracks in Opus represent anything in the story of the album, or are they just instrumentals for the sake of flexing your skills?
Well,
Anybody?
Why not both?
¿Por qué no las dos?
Okay, I would say Implosion Overture is likely just it's fulfilling the sort of traditional role that an overture fulfills in most musicals and operas or whatever, which is essentially it's there to give you musical themes from across the story. We structured the whole album in the sort of way that you would expect a musical to be sort of structured, and that overture gives you little motifs from all over the album. 4D printing,
which is also going to be covered by Purple Lobster. What is the meaning of 4D printing within the story?
Oh, cool!
What a segue!
Awesome. Yeah, perfect. 2 birds with 1 stone. 4D printing is instrumental, but it's supposed to sort of represent the protagonist's struggle over the course of years and decades, I guess, to sort of continue to work on his opus while now in isolation. Now that and then there's no one else left in the house but him, and it also represents his obsession with the opus gradually departing from the process of creating art to something that is more akin to science. It's become a lot more mechanical. It's losing its soul, to the extent that by the end he has actually created a machine which then blows up, and that's where you get the beginning of Within the Realm.
And the breakdown, is actually the machine blowing up, and that's where you lead into, he was saying, the next song where he's that was it, that was all I had in me, because the machine he spent his entire life making to try and help him make his opus literally blows the fuck up. Check out the album for the rest of the story. Let's hit a few more on here because they're actually pretty quick. Is there guitar tab books available? It would be fun to try and learn some of the songs. Bass book is out.
Facebook is out. That's also on Bandcamp.
Thank you. And guitar book is on the way.
It is on the way. We are currently on Death of Simpson because we are literally giving you every guitar part, of which there's a lot. We're talking rhythms, leads, random shit that's only played once, acoustic tracks.
James and I really asked ourselves the question of okay, for the guitar tab, should we just include the main guitar part that James is going to play live? And ultimately we were just nah, let's actually tab out every single guitar layer we have. Which sounds like a great idea until you actually go to execute that. So yeah, it's a lot of work. We are working on it. It'll happen for sure.
Any music degrees in the band?
Me. It's not. It's only an associate's degree though. It
doesn't count.
It's not a bachelor's.
I would have had an associate's degree, but I made the poor choice of going to a private school that got to set their own curriculum, and so I went for 3 years, dropped out, and got fucking nothing. So, learn something from that, kids.
Yeah.
Do you count your certificate for engineering? It's more of a certification.
I guess, yeah, it was more of a continuing education thing. I did a certificate program for audio engineering and everything, so there's that too.
All right, next, planning on finding a dedicated keyboard player. Can I jump in on that?
Sure.
As of right now, that is a big fat no. And this has to do with like the history of the band, but to keep it short, part of what bogged the album down and took 7 years was us mastering the skills to be able to create the product we wanted, but it was also dealing with a bunch of personalities that weren't gelling, not necessarily on like an interpersonal relationship, but on a musical like relationship wise. So it kind of ground the process to a halt. We pared it down to this group of 4, and to go ahead and tackle some of the questions I saw on Facebook, as far as the new album goes, this album got done in about 6 or 7 months after it was just us 4, and the new album is well on its way to being like, what, a third of the way done? Roughly,
Probably, something
somewhere
like that,
around
yeah.
that range. So pace,
We're cooking.
yeah, we're cooking. We're in the kitchen. We're working on the next thing for you.
Hello, Dirk Diggler. I love that name and I love that reference.
Let's see. In analyst, okay, keyboard player. Back to the keyboard player. It's one of those things where there's potential in the future if it makes sense, but as for right now, no, because we don't want to hamper the creative process.
Yeah, it's sort of a like under the right circumstances, yes, but we're now at a point where like the interplay between the 4 of us feels right and everything, and we've also known each other for like a really long time. Like I met Phil and James when like
Okay.
We're good? That's weird.
All right.
Are we back?
I think we lost the Wi-Fi.
Really? Well, point being, it would need to be the right person. That's really what it comes down to. Like, and until such a person comes along, if such a person exists, we're perfectly happy to just keep on doing it as is. So that's really what it comes down to.
I have some comments on Instagram. I figure we can go ahead and go through those as
Yeah,
well.
let's hit one of those.
Here's a simple one. How to pronounce Schneemil 17? We'll go with that. What's your favorite time signature? 4-4.
All right, well, that was very aggressive.
Well, about that. Listen, everything is in 4-4 if you're,
If you're creative enough. Gent, baby.
What is it?
Gent,
Was it
baby.
everything's in 4-4 if you stop counting like a fucking nerd? Truth be told, I'm really partial to 7-8.
7-8
I just
is
really
classic.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you weren't hoping for a crazy answer like 15-16 or 17 Caphilion or what
If
have
you
you.
can feel the groove, it'll make you move.
Bruh, god damn you. Stole it. You stole it. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I know for myself is, anything on the album that was written in a odd time signature wasn't really done premeditated. It wasn't like this needs to be in 7, this needs to be in 5. It's just that's how it felt when it was created.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of circumstances where James will write a riff and we'll sort of be trying to figure out, like maybe program some demo drum parts. And in the process of doing that, I'll be like, oh, okay, so the time signature of this is like 11/16. And that'll kind of just be news to us because it's like, well, we wrote a riff, let's find out what it is.
Very intentional.
I mean,
Everything's intentional.
I think that's very reflective of like at least my philosophy on music theory, which is that it's not prescriptive, it's descriptive. You use theory to describe what
You're trying to achieve,
don't.
and I'm down on that.
Exactly.
I'm down on that.
You don't use it to tell you what to write.
Paul, we're happy to see you, brother. Glad you stuck it through to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Here.
What a trooper. What's up,
Yeah.
Or did this. It is my legal obligation as Brazilian to say in all caps, come to Brazil. Brazil, you are on the hit list.
We would love to.
We would love to. We're working on trying to, baby steps. We're working on playing across the states. We're looking at, jumping across the pond. Then maybe, we'll head south. We're working on it. Let's see. Is there any prog metal bands that were an inspiration to you while writing Opus? Oh,
So this
Lord.
will actually answer probably like a couple of questions off of the other socials.
Okay.
AC/DC,
Gloria Estefan.
Leonard Skinner, Frank Sinatra, right?
I'm dying.
Yeah. I mean,
I think a little bit of Pavarotti.
Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of that. What was the question again? I kind of blacked out.
Influences.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a whole lot. Obviously, a lot of the prog favorites, because that's the shit we grew up on. If we're going way back, I think we cut our teeth on bands like Dream Theater and Symphony X.
Symphony X, Circus Maximus,
Andromeda.
Pagan's Mind.
Yeah.
A lot of those, I guess you would say, like 90s to mid 2000s fare.
Yeah.
But in more recent times, we've been really into bands like Opeth, which is older, but Periphery, Tesseract, Meshuggah,
Animals as Leaders.
Animals as
Yeah,
Leaders.
even like the new, like
Bola.
outside of Gent, even like new prog stuff like Haken and
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
funny because essentially, like, we have answered the question by just naming every modern prog band.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if the shoe fits.
well, yeah, it's like it's the genre that we like to listen to. Okay, this was bound to get brought up by one of us at some point. Our mentality has been for a long time. We mentioned this in interviews as well. Is that like our favorite bands like make music that really make us feel something. So we love Dream Theater. We love Haken, Symphony X, Circus Maximus. We love those bands so much, but it's like, well, we only get a new Dream Theater album like once every 3 years now, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a new Haken album every 2 years or so, and it's just like our appetites for this music are so strong. It's like that's somehow still not often enough.
Yeah, you blast it for 2 months and then you worn it out and then you hope one of the other favorites has put out something.
Right.
And if not, oh well.
So at the end of the day, it becomes this thing where like, okay, well then we should step up. We should begin making more of the music that we want to hear. And so, yeah, if we like to hear music from Dream Theater and like all of these different prog bands, it would stand to reason that like they all sort of become an influence on what we would create, because we're just creating more of what we want to hear.
Yeah.
And we're just also releasing it for other people to hear as well.
Damn
That's
straight.
really what it is.
Let's get one more off of here and then we'll jam a social. What are the odds that you'd open for Dream Theater on their next US tour? The desire would be great. The odds are unknown because honestly, I don't even know if that
We'd
would
love
be
to.
if we would even be in their wheelhouse yet. Like
Yeah.
we would love to.
I would love to say that the chances are non-zero.
Yeah,
cool.
It is definitely above zero.
It is above zero, but it's undefined. It's very Schrodinger's cat right now. Okay.
We have spoken with at least one member of Dream Theater,
True.
but just like to kind of
Talk
chill
shop.
out and hang. But
Yeah.
I imagine we would probably need to hear from like Dream Theater's management in order to know anything more about that.
Damn straight. Okay.
Which would be cool. So, if any member of Dream Theater is watching right now, send your management our way. It'll be all good.
Please help. Please help.
please, please.
So off of Instagram, Zdret, how many years have you all played each instrument? I'm still flabbergasted by your godly skills and manly pecs. That's not what that says. What does that say? Especially. Oh, sorry. He says Cole's a good, cool bass player. So I guess
thank you.
how long have we been playing thingies? I've been playing guitar for 17 or 18 years.
Yeah, bass for 15 and a half years, something like that.
Damn.
I know, right?
I've been singing at least 20.
I think I'm at like 16, 17 years. Maybe.
Yeah.
That was
Singing
15,
since like the
16.
6th grade, so
Damn.
yeah, it's
Damn.
been a long,
Been a while.
long time.
Yeah, we've been playing and singing for at least half our lives for the most part.
And then, in case this question comes up, we've been playing together in different versions of this group for a decade, over a decade.
Since 2009 was when we all first met. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the exception of Paul, who came on board in 2 years later in 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
So still.
Back in the day, man.
I was gonna guess
So-
2012. See, that's why I don't do the history.
You know, I will say I have been playing the Viber Slap for going on like 2 years now.
2 years.
Speaking of Vibra Slap, there was a Facebook question.
Yeah.
Does the Vibra Slap make the song, or does the song make the Vibra Slap? Segue.
Both. It's important. It's going to be on every album. This is the first that they've purchased, but it's going to
At this
happen.
point, it really will. Like it was honestly just sort of an off the cuff idea for Earworm, that then somehow has become a meme unto itself. So there you go. We're bringing hand percussion back.
That's right, baby.
Which, speaking of that,
Oh,
keep an eye out on
yeah. Just
keep an eye out on the Vibra Slap world. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Mhm.
There might be things in the works, you know, for you guys to acquire. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Let's hit another one let's go to Facebook.
Okay, there's not a whole lot left here, so let's bring.
Cool, let's iron one out. What we got?
Let's see. How was your work on album number 2 going?
I think we hit that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going well.
Yep, we're cooking.
It's awesome. In fact, as soon as we're done with the live stream, we'll work on it some more.
Yeah.
This one kind of piggybacks off of the like influence and inspiration comment.
Sure.
Svein A. Scarrett, I really hope I'm not mispronouncing your name. It says, would you say you're closer to DT or Haken?
Our sound?
That's a really tough one because I feel like we
Shit.
thread that needle.
Maybe. I guess maybe Haken, because Haken, they do incorporate more modern elements, I guess you could say.
Yeah, although like Haken does often do a lot more sort of even more rhythmically weird off the cuff stuff, where Dream Theater is
Definitely more like in
feels
the
more
pocket.
classic, I guess.
Yeah.
And I feel like we exist probably somewhere in between.
That, I mean, honestly, that's probably the best answer.
Yeah.
I want to throw a comment at Dirk. Ozai would have been a cool name as well. It totally would have, but we had to ditch Ozai because of copyright reasons. Like, you go to find us right now on Google search or on YouTube, and we're going to be the first thing that pops up under Nospūn just because it's spelt weird and no one else would get the reference. Ozai, you will get Avatar: The Last Airbender a billion times over. Thank you, Netflix.
And also, like, just other artists' names.
Yeah, because even though we might have been one of the first, you know, we did it before it was cool, but honestly, it doesn't matter because everyone jumped on the bandwagon and we got buried under the pile, so bummer.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, well, actually, no, we'll save that for later.
Cool. Where's it at? There was a comment, and I'm gonna lose it. No, where'd it go?
Don't lose it.
Well,
Oh, greetings from Brazil, Diago. How can I keep my bald head as cool as Colin James's?
Well, first, what you do is you
you have to start with a full head of hair,
yeah,
and then begin losing it tragically naturally.
yeah, yeah. So
And then you actively make the decision that like I don't want to witness the slow death of this, so I'm just gonna get ahead of it.
well, I mean,
Go ahead and take it
here's
all
the
off.
here's the signs though. You know, it's you know when it's time to cut your hair, not because this starts to thin out and then you have like just the one like horse tail hair thing, but when you start to see it thin out back there, that's when it's time to just shave it all off, keep it smooth, keep it clean.
No skullets, fam.
And, you know-
no skullets.
Hopefully your head is somewhat even and like not mashed potato-y or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, no lumps.
Prayer.
Bald men are beautiful.
Going back to John's comment, any live shows coming up? Yes, they are. They are not solidified. There's tentative dates. When they are solidified, you will know. Some of the first ones are going to be local. Actually, there is one that's completely solidified for anybody who doesn't know. Prog Power
Rock Power.
in September. What day is it?
28th?
No.
That's
no.
the other one.
No.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up, Paul!
28th.
God damn it.
11th, you know, one of them days.
All right, September. Hang on.
7th, 8th, 6th, 5th, 5th, 4th.
I think it's the 5th. I think.
We're okay.
Yeah, September 5th.
Cool.
We're bad.
Yeah, we're awful at this shit. But that is definitely solidified. We are playing Prog Power USA in the beginning of September. Will be day 2?
Yes.
Day 2.
Which is a Thursday.
Which is a Thursday. Not exactly sure the numerical date there.
I think I have a question.
Oh, go ahead, hit it.
From The Boomer.
Oh.
What scenes from a memory by Dream Theater and inspiration when you were making Opus?
Duh.
Yeah. Yeah. I think right before we started writing the album, we kind of had a brief chat about, what we like about concept albums, like what are our favorite concept albums. Scenes is one of them. The Mountain is another.
Yes.
Rush's 2112, that's a big one. And we kind of looked at those and kind of saw what we liked and what we didn't like. But I wouldn't say it was like a huge inspiration where like we weren't constantly going, okay, we need to make sure that this is like this, and like we need a Spirits Carry On, and it's like
It was an inspiration in so much as we liked the album and we wanted to make another album like that we felt was, maybe this was hubris or whatever, but that we felt was as good. Like we wanted to put out an album that captured interest and wonder and fascination the same way that listening to scenes from a memory did. We did not go through and say, all right, we need to have this song is the lineup to this song off of Scenes. This one, it wasn't like that.
We didn't structurally base the album off of some other album. In fact, probably the most informative structural thing was the story itself.
Yeah.
We went through each song, decided what part of the story the song was going to become, and then the music was informed by what should happen at that part of the story. Like, is this a somber moment? Is this an uplifting moment? Is there tension in this moment? And it influenced both the writing and the performance. So,
and there was also an element of, like I mentioned earlier, how we drew sort of influence from like musical structure or like rock opera structure, like you would expect, early on to have sort of like a soft sort of opening song and then an overture and then the first real like song with plot in it that captures attention, but soon after that you want to have something high energy and upbeat. And we were essentially like following along, not to a Scenes from a Memory formula, but more of like how do musicals play out? There's like a certain point in musicals where you expect this kind of song to appear, and for the most part we kind of follow that. Like we do deviate at times, but that, I would say, a much bigger influence on the structure was just like the way that rock operas are put together.
let's tag 2 on here. Sorry, I'm just trying to get us moving along. We got a half hour, unless we plan on letting this thing go for a little bit. We'll end when we feel like it. Stick around. So let's hit 2 and 1 here. Will there be tabs for the Vibra Slap? Thank you, Blue Chippy. And Ryan Trippy, who is each member's biggest inspiration? So Vibra Slap, tabs?
So
Definitely.
This is a wonderful opportunity to actually talk about like how we did the Vibra Slap sound if we want to.
let's go into that, Cole.
Just so briefly, because in the same way that we've tabbed out that like we're working on the guitar tabs and there's multiple layers, we would have to tab out the multiple layers of the Vibra Slap sound. So this is more like a production kind of thing, but the Vibra Slap hit in Earworm is actually, it is layered. There's one main hit that was like the best one that I got off of James hitting the damn thing. Is the one that just sounded like the best overall, and that one is like straight up the middle, like in mono, and then I took like 2 other takes that were like okay. I just got like the rattle from those and panned those like left and right so that we got the width. But then there was like a little something extra missing, and James like this whole time was being funny by like making vibroslat noises with his mouth, like just this weird sort of like gurgling noise. Yeah, this like kind of thing. And so at some point we were like, hell with it, get up in the mic and do that. And he did, and we have James's like mouth vibroslat layered in there.
Yes,
So
it is on the record.
So it is multiple layers deep to get that sound.
So you know what we could do is we could make a tutorial on how to properly play the vibroslat.
Yeah, well, and not just play it, but honestly how to mix it, because I will say like just a vibroslat by itself is very dry and raw sounding and doesn't sound anything like if you think of Crazy Train, right? The vibroslap at the beginning of Crazy Train, that's a huge vibroslap sound. That is not how vibroslaps sound right off the cuff. Like you really have to do stuff to it to make
You need
it
James's
explode
mouth
like
today.
that.
Yeah, my mouth.
Yeah,
is
you need
wonderful
James's mouth.
things.
Guys, this was supposed to be a quick question.
Anyway, okay, so
We're
yes,
close. We're close.
Okay,
Oh,
so
the
the question
other
of who's our each member's
Uh,
influences.
If I had to narrow it
Just
down to one, it's between Protest the Hero and Periphery, because I'm taking it from like a vocal perspective. So for me, it's between Rhodey Walker from Protest, or God forgive me, Periphery.
Spencer.
Spencer Tello from Periphery.
Cool. James.
You go first.
Okay. Well, I guess if we're sort of putting up like 2 to pick from or something, John Myung was probably one of the biggest influences for me early on. He's probably the reason why I started playing 6-string bass to begin with. Now I just play 6-string bass because it's what I prefer, but that's probably the reason I started. Aside from that, I would say Adam Nolly Get Good, formerly from Periphery. Partially because he's a good bassist, but mostly because his sounds in mixing and everything, like, I think he produces the best sounding records, so, yeah.
He did.
Fred Durst.
Oh,
you
you
son
son of a... Wow.
If I had to pick a drummer, it'd probably, beside Portnoy, it'd probably be my Portnoy.
Yeah.
Wow. Portnoy, baby.
I mean, it's the blue beard and the 2s and the 4s, and it's just...
It sits right, doesn't it?
It does.
I think my 2. I would probably say this is an obvious one. Eddie Van Halen was a big inspiration for me as a kid. Like hearing him play Eruption on the radio inspired me to pick up the guitar. And then one not so obvious one, and this almost sounds like a joke, but it's not, is actually Meatloaf, who was a singer from the 70s. And what I always admired about him was here you had this 300-pound guy with the stage presence and the charisma of a god. And each performance, he always gave it all, and that's something I kind of took from him. And to this day, like when I perform, I give it my all.
And you are a sexy motherfucker.
Yes.
You know, Cole forgot to mention, though, his love for the Shindig.
Oh, God.
And how much he's a Red Hot
Stop
Chili
it.
Peppers.
Stop it.
No,
Shut
no,
up.
no, no.
Shut up.
He loves...
All right, come on, let's blast through a couple of these. Let's see, this one's directed at Cole. Cole is someone who is learning bass. You may be one of the most technically talented bassists I've ever heard. That being said, do you have practical recommendations to eventually play technical stuff?
I do. Okay, so the best thing that I can start by recommending is get your instrument, your bass, set up as well as possible, right? This has very little to do with, improving your technique and a lot more to do with, like, either take it to a luthier or learn how to do it yourself. I ended up learning how to do it myself, just because I figured out exactly how I wanted my setup to be. But it honestly comes down to this. The least or the less effort muscularly that you can put into playing stuff, the faster you will be able to play. Like the harder you are having to press to hold a string just down to a fret, you're going to move slower that way. So if you can get the strings really close to the fretboard with minimal fret buzz, because obviously you want it to sound good and clear, if you can do that, that leads to the ability to play much faster, especially like in terms of legato playing. Consider looking up balance tension string sets for your bass, like where the string gauges essentially are all chosen and designed to pull equal tension across the neck, because traditional bass string sets don't do that. Like the E string pulls less tension than the D string does, and so you may not notice it outright, but your hand is actually having to put in more effort to play certain strings than others. So balance tension string sets are a huge part of like helping to play more technical stuff more quickly. Getting your bass set up, even if that means like getting like a good fret leveling to make sure that any high frets are sort of brought down. Aside from that, actual like technical skill stuff, it's kind of the same stuff that you would expect like a music teacher to say. Like you want to practice stuff over and over again. As far as like training your brain, I recommend learning ear training, like learning to recognize your intervals, eventually learning to recognize chord progressions, learn your modes, like basically just like shapes and patterns on the fingerboard. Because I'll be perfectly honest, when I'm playing in like various keys or whatever, I'm not thinking of note names, I'm thinking hand shapes that I know are in the right key and are following the right shape. And that's honestly something I think I've picked up from James a lot. So like a lot of what goes towards playing more technical stuff is more brain stuff, less to do with your hands. I think you will find that if you get your instrument set up really well, it becomes a lot easier to do the technical stuff. And part of the reason why I say that, like getting the strings lower, there's another side to this, which is learn to find the sweet spot where you are holding the string down, like, how to say it, like where you hold the string down to the fret enough to get a clear note, but not too hard to where you're wasting muscular effort. If you can find that sweet spot, then you can play like butter. It's awesome. And that's
Sweet.
it. I'll shut up now.
No, you,
And
you
also-
guys hit the button. This is
Yeah.
our technical guru. He eats this shit for breakfast.
Now, he
So-
didn't mention this, but another important thing is to isolate yourself from your friends and family. Just sit in your room and just obsess.
Yeah,
It seems like a negative thing, but it can be quite positive for your technique.
be not very popular as a teenager. That helps.
Well, goddamn. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, cold-blooded, dude.
This one, you'll have to forgive me, Nico. This question's a little confusing. Greetings from Chile. I love Opus. I listen every day. The structure of a ballad, an instrumental, and a proggy song, it's pretty similar with the beginning of SFAM of Dream Theater. It's on purpose. I really love it.
Oh, so like starting off with the soft intro song and then an overture and then
Oh,
And then a
I
bonus
see,
song.
because
Okay.
Scenes from Memory starts in a similar way.
Okay.
It was not done on purpose. We started that way with a ballad because in our heads in the story, the ballad itself takes place like halfway through the story, where like the character is having like this quiet moment to himself where it's him playing the acoustic guitar and singing. And the strings and the choir is what he hears in his head.
And this actually segues into Diago's next question. Hey, serious question now. I couldn't interpret exactly the Opus story. Can you explain a little what's going on with the main character? So at the beginning, sitting by himself, he's describing the scene. He's trying to write his opus. He's living with his family in a mildly run-down house with a bunch of other tenants, so you can tell they're not very well off. And after the overture, which gives you all the musical themes, he wakes up on the song The Death of Simpson, and he's starting out his routine. You know, every day is the same. He wakes up from a night of not being able to do what he wants, can't get that opus out of his head. And then tragedy strikes the house, crazy shit starts happening, there's a guy dead, slowly people start disappearing in the house, and he has no idea what's happening. So he, instead of trying to figure out what's happening to the people around him, he doubles down on his art. Becoming obsessive, which is kind of what we were talking about. You want to get good at your shit, obsess, right? Nothing breeds success like excess.
I don't know what that means in this context, but okay.
Well, if you don't think you're practicing enough, practice more.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, he obsesses to the point where he has created essentially a contraption to help him write this song. And by the time the contraption's done, he looks up and realizes everyone else is fucking gone. There's no one left. So he's like, there's nothing else left for me now except to complete the work. So he turns the machine on, 4D printing, gung, gung, gah, and everything blows up. And who's standing before him? A future version of himself. Right? He thinks, oh great, everything's gone. Even the music is now kibosh. Future version of himself standing before him. He's like, okay, cool, let me break down what's happened for you. And that's where you're going to have to listen to the album, because that is literally the crux of the story, is this interaction between him and his future self, and he gives the breakdown of what happened throughout the whole story.
I do think the lyrics of Within the Realm are probably some of the clearest, like,
Yeah.
just in terms of narrative, like what's happening.
And it'll break the whole thing down for you.
Yeah.
Promise. Okay, they already addressed the keyboardist. Staccato slappy, tabby bit. Bass bit in the Within the Realm is probably my favorite bit of music ever. Thank you, Paul.
A lot of bass love here. I love that. Thank you.
Gabrielle is like, Opus was my album of the year for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good question here. Which were your personal album of the years for 2023?
Oh, shit.
There's none. No. I think my personal favorite, it bounced between P5 and the Menzel Rise by Omnirod.
Yeah.
Which is probably the most unique sounding album of last year in terms of like hearing things I haven't quite heard before. So it's between those two.
For me,
Someone else answer the question.
For me, it's... That's hard, man, because I've been jamming a lot of older stuff, finding people late.
Yeah.
Did Volo's record come out this year, or was that last year?
That was last
23?
year, or maybe even the year before. Well,
'Cause out of the-
Witness?
Huh?
Witness?
Yeah.
It's not new anymore. That honestly could have been the end of 2020.
And that's what I'm getting at. Like, everything I've been jamming, I've been playing catch-up on, because we kind of got a little tunnel visioned when writing, and it's just, I'm finally crawling out of the hole and realizing I missed out on a bunch of shit. So,
Yeah, same. If I had to pick, it would probably be P5. That's
Mm,
probably the
P5?
only one that I really
fair.
listened to all the way through.
I guess for me, it's similarly tough, because I mean, obviously you've got P5, which I enjoyed, and Haken's Fauna, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and I guess Fauna might probably be like my top like prog album of 2023, if I had to guess. But I also found myself listening to a lot of other stuff that was not prog last year that I thoroughly enjoyed, that would probably make album of the year or something like that. So that's, more outside. But the truth is, because we started writing the new album that we're working on, we started writing it last year, and we're of course still working on it. And I find myself having like a lot of difficulty listening to other like prog stuff while we're actively working on writing our own stuff, because whenever I will go to listen to Periphery or Haken or a new Dream Theater or something or other, it just immediately kicks my brain into, oh, I need to be working on whatever our new thing is. So it's like I'll pull up Haken, I'll start listening to a Haken song, and I'll be like, oh shoot, let me skip over to our Google Drive where we have all of our demos and start listening through our demos again. So I can get so it's actually very hard for me to listen to prog stuff right now because it always just brings me back around to working on our stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's why I've been getting out of it a little bit.
I can't say that shit, but like a lot of what I've been listening to recently is a lot of the stuff we're working on, including, well, that'll come out of the bag later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip down to the bottom just because there's a couple of really sweet comments that I wanted to shout out to. Wow, these guys are churning it out quick. Where'd it go?
Here's a quick one. Is Opus for sale on iTunes? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Paul was like, all of your albums of the year are wrong. It's Opus.
Okay, well, but real talk. If we had asked that question, if someone asked that question, what were your albums of the year for 2023, and we had said Opus,
it'll be fine.
Oh shit!
I mean, be for real. That would have started circulating, and I don't think it would have looked very good.
I probably did
shit.
listen to that more than anything else last year.
I think it's the sort of thing you're not allowed to vote for yourself,
Dude,
you know?
right? Put it this way: everyone's getting high on their own supply. And if
Also-
they're not, they're full of shit.
Also, I probably didn't listen to our album very much in 2023 because I spent the 7 years prior listening to it.
True. Very true.
Let's see.
Neil Morse.
I really like Transatlantic. And I met him at Progtoberfest back in 2018. Nice guy. And then this comment: the professor played a vibraslap slap in Closer to the Heart. He means Neil Peart.
Oh.
I never noticed that. I always noticed the bells. Like I missed that.
We'll have to go digging.
Yeah.
Is Opus for sale on iTunes?
Oh, I answered that one.
Huh? You
I
did?
think I answered that one.
With it.
Yes.
Damn, I'm slow. Forgive me.
No, it's
Will you put out Opus on vinyl? Eventually, yeah. It's expensive. Leave us alone.
Eventually. We've got logistical problems with putting Opus on vinyl. The problem is like the way that we structured the album, like where the longest song on the album sits, is very inconvenient for trying to actually put things onto an LP. Like trying to cram stuff onto an LP is very difficult just because of the layout of how we did the album.
Let's break into it. I did a lot of research on this. So if we did a double LP, we can just get it to fit, but we're actually going to suffer in quality because we're going to have to lower the dB, which is going to affect your clarity when you go to print on vinyl, in order to make it a double. If you want optimal quality, which is what we would want to produce, it's going to be a triple. That price is insane unless you're producing at least like 1,000 copies.
Yeah.
Like it is, put it this way, if we did a batch of like 100 of them, it's going to cost about $33 a pop. And that's wild. And that's not including
like it's going to cost us.
That's going to cost us just to manufacture it. So
yeah,
like
that's the
it's
cost
a
of production.
large like cost hurdle, and that's in like basic sleeve. That's not in like a trifold. That's with like no inserts or no lyrics or anything. Like you were getting the 3 quality discs, 180 gram black, in a giant ass sleeve, and the basic bubble wrap. And so you're getting essentially something that we wouldn't want to sell you, which is why we haven't done it. So we're trying to work on either coming up with something like a Kickstarter if we're going to do it ourselves, or potentially if we end up in talks with a label and they want to buy anything from before the second album, because I think that's probably what's going to be in the works. If we talk to labels, they'll probably want to start with the second album that we're working on right now. They probably won't want to cash in on the old one because that's already cashed in on. So we may have to put it on vinyl ourselves, but we're going to have to source it ourselves if that's the case. If that's something...
It's just a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is absolutely like we're not sitting around here thinking like, man, everyone's asking for vinyl, but we don't want to do that. We absolutely want to put Opus on vinyl. It's just like we don't want to give y'all a crappy product. You know, we want to give you something that you'll enjoy having, and in order to do that, there's just so many hurdles for us.
We want
to
to put
jump
out something
over.
that we would want to buy, but we also want to make it not like
Yeah,
astronomically
we
expensive.
don't want to
Yeah.
end up like where we had a lot of our European fans going to our website and buying the CD and be like, why the hell does it cost me $30 to ship to Germany? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know, friend. I have no idea why taxes are so high. Which is why we ended up getting into Just for Kicks Records and started shipping them like batch products, so we only have to eat that shipping cost once.
Yeah.
That way you guys get the benefit. Until we find a way to pass on the savings benefit to you guys, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Hi from Quebec City, Canada. Thank you, PA.
Hello.
Hands down my favorite album of all time. Thank you, Joey.
Wow.
Within the Realm is my favorite track, easily, from Jared. Thank you, sir.
Same.
Same. If we can't make it to Prog Power, when can we see you? From Kevin.
Okay, so we sort of briefly touched on this at the beginning of the live stream. As far as like when it comes to live shows, we will be playing live. We don't really have much in the works aside from Prog Power in September later this year, but I can almost certainly say for anyone who lives, you know, even sort of within a few hours distance of Charlotte, it will be relatively easy for, like, assuming that you're willing to make the drive. Like, we're definitely planning to do some local shows in Charlotte because obviously it's easy, we live here, and also that's how we're going to sort of get our our live show like up and running, ready for later touring. So, you know, we'll obviously post about local shows that we do as they come up, and you know, it tends to be at like just smaller like local venues around Charlotte. And so at that point, y'all can decide like, do I want to make the trek over to Charlotte? And if you do, great, we'd love to meet you, right?
Yeah.
So there will be opportunities to come see us like a little closer to home for us if Prog Power doesn't work out for you. Because I get it, the Prog Power tickets are expensive, and I think day 2 or a couple of the days are already sold out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your chances are limited there. But like, don't worry, if you do live like at least within like spitting distance of where Prog Power would be, in all likelihood you could make it work to like come see us on our home turf even.
But just know we are trying to get the live machine running. We want to play. We want to see you guys, and we're so grateful for the support.
Yeah.
Nico, the house at the end, it blew my mind. Thanks to the Spotify and randomness, I discovered your music. Honestly, I think you're doing better things than Haken, Timic, or Whom Gods Destroy.
Damn.
Brother,
Damn.
we thank you, and we hope to at least be on par with those guys. That is a steep compliment. Thank you.
Do we like our Echo?
Arch Echo.
What he said.
I saw them last year when they opened for Haken. They absolutely killed it. They put on a terrific show.
I haven't dug in yet.
Their keyboardist was the honestly the biggest showman, at least for that night. It was.
Now
which is
I gotta
surprising.
see it. Now
No,
I gotta
it's-
see
it's
some live
surprising.
shit. What the hell?
No, I mean everyone else like killed it too, but like he was like, you know, he's playing, but he's also like freaking slamming his elbow down on the keys and doing all this crazy stuff.
So you
So,
also wear assless chaps?
well, he didn't turn around, so I couldn't really tell. So maybe I don't know.
James isn't sold if there's no assless chaps.
Listen, I need the assless chaps.
Holy shit. Let's see. 2023 was amazing. Fauna, PV, War Being, Opus. Thank you, Sprankton. Sergio, well, they say the third is the hard one, so the next album should be easy, I guess. Yours, I mean. Well, we hope not to run out of inspiration anytime soon. Second album's been cooking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been interesting to see how it develops because like obviously there's a lot of parts from it that feel like sort of a natural evolution from what we did on Opus, but at the same time, like we finished writing most of the music for Opus by the end of 2017.
Yeah.
right? Because we started writing it in 2016. We finished writing most of them, like the structure at least, by the end of 2017. So then we really didn't write much new or come up with much new ideas between then and when we released Opus, because we didn't want to go be like, oh, let's go start writing other stuff when we fully have to focus on doing the production.
I
Opus.
physically could not.
No, it sucked because it was like it was creative constipation is what it was. It was like, because we had ideas, they were just all like backed up in there because we were like, well, we can't justify coming out and doing that stuff until Opus is done. It took us 7 years to do it for production and personnel reasons and everything. So now that we're actually able to get those ideas out, that's, you know, years worth of ideas now we're sort of putting together structurally. So, and it's kind of weird because since we finished writing the music for Opus in 2017, that's however many years. Now we're you know, 5, 6 years older than that, writing new stuff.
Oh God.
So anyway,
Got him.
the point being, some of it will feel like a natural evolution, and some of it will feel like we're doing
some different
stuff.
shit.
We're just doing what makes us happy. This is what we're doing at the end of the day.
Choo.
Got here a little late, says Joshua. Just wanted to say that I freaking love your album. Very excited to hear more from you guys.
Excellent. Thank you.
Loved Opus Boys, some stellar prog music. Thank you, Pixie. Pixie? Is that Pixel?
Pixel.
Pixel. Sorry, Pixel. Thank you, my friend. Joshua, are there any labels you guys already have in mind?
Someone, a label that knows how to treat a prog band would be good.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
whatever label is offering a good deal, I suppose.
Right? If we get to keep basically the masters and the rights to them, and then we're not, pardon my French, we're not getting screwed on the back end as far as like royalties and profit and things like that.
Yeah, we want to
you
still
know?
be able to make money so that we can justify time that we take off of work to.
It needs to make sense
Exactly.
at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Surprise, surprise! Nospūn does not yet provide us each a living, so we have to work. You know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Which is why we were talking about with the vinyl, you know, being cost effective and all that, because essentially we're have to float that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. It's a lot. Eventually, we all hope to be making enough money off this thing to be able to spend full time writing music, and that would be totally awesome. And all of your support,
Yachts.
all of your fuck you.
Yeah. Mansions, cobblestone driveways, black leather gloves. Anywho.
Lots and lots of cocaine.
Brandon Wright says, love Opus. Was by far the most listened album for me last year. I can't read. Thank you so much. He said your vocals are okay.
That is absolutely not
I mean, love you
I know
too.
we tried. I wanted to sing, but yeah.
My okay vocals apparently sold him though. So
Yeah, well, your face is dumb. Purple Veil. I want a Nospūn t-shirt. Hey!
hey,
Glad you mentioned that.
Plug!
We are finally getting merch underway. And we're currently creating the first t-shirt designs. We know we're going to do t-shirts, no brainer. We're going to have hoodies. Probably have some beanies or hats for sure. And a couple of, let's say, items out of left field that I think you guys will
Y'all are giving
enjoy
away entirely too much.
immensely.
It'll be fine.
It'd be fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
The harmonies or just the power endings got me good. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
Phil is really big on harmonies.
I
For
love
sure.
them. When I said I've been singing since the 6th grade, my roots were in choir. I actually went to college when I was talking about the degree earlier that I didn't get was for vocal performance, which, unless you're going to some avant-garde school, it's going to be opera. So,
And doing, from a production standpoint, doing in vocal tracking, the harmonies are, a really fun time.
I
Because,
love that
obviously
shit.
you get your lead vocal track, but then it sort of becomes, that's the expected thing. You gotta have the lead vocal track, but then you begin to, fill out the texture with vocal harmonies and stuff, and it's really great when you do have someone like Phil who has an ear for harmonies. Like, because not everyone does. Not everyone has an ear to be able to do their own harmonies and everything. But Phil absolutely does, and he thinks in harmonies. And when he's coming up with a lot of his vocal parts, he already kind of has harmony ideas in mind. And so we end up layering the stuff quite thick, and that is that's a phenomenon that will probably only become more true with the next album.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah.
Let's see. Kevin Linger says I'm in Virginia, so I'm somewhat close, but you can sweeten the deal and make it make it up closer to Raleigh. That would be great. Yeah. So we do plan on playing in like the Raleigh, Durham area as well. That is on the list of places to play. We just haven't had luck booking those shows yet, but we're working on it.
What do you guys do for full-time work?
Drugs. Sell a lot of drugs.
Lots of drugs. We sell drugs to children because they're really
God
stupid
almighty.
and
No!
they buy anything.
Bro, YouTube.
is the FBI watching this?
Jesus.
Your channel has been shut down.
Right? It's been a hard year.
No more monetization.
So, well, on that note, Cole and I teach children because we're both music teachers.
Yeah.
So we both teach at the same school in Charlotte.
Do you guys give online lessons?
Yeah. We do private lessons as well.
Plug if you need
Plug!
some lessons.
Plug.
Some lessons.
Plug.
Yes, if you need to schedule such lessons, you can find us on Facebook. I am on Instagram as James the Beard. Pretty much.
James the Beard.
James the Beard. You're Cole Millward Bass.
Yeah.
So hit us up. But we also co-run a studio, this thing you see us in, called Giant Spoon Productions.
Yes, sir.
So if you need something mixed or mastered or recorded,
We're
Yeah, if you like
Another shameless
how
plug.
Opus sounded, then thank you.
Yeah. And then Cole and I are also professional musicians, so we play around town and just all around the states for cover gigs and tribute acts and stuff like that. Don't hate us.
I play prog for fun. I play wagon wheel for money.
Well, actually, I play in a Genesis tribute band, so
Yeah,
I
so
also play prog.
He
for
plays prog for money. Yeah.
Loophole.
Just not his own.
No. No.
So
Paul? What was it?
Phil is a elevator tech, right?
Yeah. Started off in construction. Now I'm in repair. So if you're in the Charlotte area, I may or may not have worked on the death trap you climbed into.
Yeah.
I sell lawn care.
Cool.
So if you need your lawn done, hit me up. I got you, dog. Got you on that 10% discount prepaid.
10%, baby. Let's see. What was it? Bass?
It was just always awesome to hear the occasional bass/baritone singer.
Yeah, that's right. Did y'all know Phil is a baritone?
Yeah.
Not a tenor.
No.
In case that last note on the house at the beginning surprised you.
Thanks, boy. Can I please ask for some merch that isn't black? Why, yes. Yes,
No.
you can.
No, you can't. Only black.
None more black.
All of our merch must be stuff that I can wear.
So you know what? We'll do black, and then we'll do Vanta black.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but both colors, right?
We have to get permission from Anish Kapoor.
We'll make it happen.
Let's see. The choruses throughout the entire album are just phenomenal. Thank you, John.
That was a
That
big
was an
point.
intentional thing.
That was something we put a lot of
Lots of
attention
rewrites
towards.
into, for sure.
A lot of our music like that's one of the staples of our music philosophy is that if the chorus ain't a banger, it ain't a song. So
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of our favorite bands, like a lot of our favorite albums, have songs where just like the choruses always hit. And so it was an intentional thing when we were writing this album that we actively said out loud, every chorus has to be good. Like there can't be a snoozer
Yeah, I
of a
saw it.
chorus.
I saw it.
Someone asked, "What's your favorite Dream Theater album?"
Oh,
Train of Thought, hands down. Sorry.
that's a good album.
That's
was-
a good album.
When I came into the band, I was coming from a more like transitioning from like new metal into like metalcore because that shit was becoming popular. And so when we got into Dream Theater, the album that got me into them was Train of Thought because it was most like the stuff I was already listening to. It was heavy, it was chunky.
Chunk.
Labrie was trying to give a little more edge on the vocals, which, Diago, I'm coming back to your question on that. Just let us get the Dream Theater thing done. I'm coming back to you.
You.
Octavarium, and it's purely for the song Octavarium.
Like, see, that's what I was gonna say.
I like the other songs on the album too, I should say. Like I'm not one of those that I'm not an Octavarium hater. I love all the songs, but the song Octavarium is for me is a masterclass in excellent flow of songwriting because it's 24 minutes long, but it feels so much shorter because it takes you on a journey. Meanwhile, there are other songs out there far shorter than that feel like they last a lot longer.
Yeah.
Because the flow is not as compelling. I
Both
guess.
Cole and I agree that Octavarium is probably our opinion.
Our
of course.
opinion, of course, right?
Octavarium is probably the greatest epic, like prog epic, up there with like Supper's Ready and Visions by Haken. I would put in that category as well.
But are you responsible?
Shut up. I think. See, I would have. That would have been my answer, but I am actually going to go with 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence.
It's a good answer.
I love both sides of that album, every single one of them, and it's just again like the second disc is a masterclass of how to flow each song into each other seamlessly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'd probably say Train of Thought too.
Yeah.
Or maybe Systematic Chaos.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
a good one too. Yeah.
I do love that one.
Diago, I'm gonna come back to you, homie. It rejects my page and pen high notes with the drive vocals, and there's two ways you could mean that. Do you mean like it has a hard edge to it, almost like a raspiness,
It's
or are you
got
talking
ground.
about like chest voice, right? Like just being able to push. Like if that's what you're talking about, then honestly, breath support is like your main go-to. And the easiest way to train breath support, and it's a very practical thing, breathing exercise where you hold your breath, see how long you can hold it, get to a point where you can hold your breath for a while, then start doing slow exhales through like a straw, and try and make it to 30 seconds. Once you get good at doing it with no weight, lay on the floor, put a book bag full of like textbooks or grab you a brick, I don't fucking care. Lay it on your stomach right here around your diaphragm area so you can actually start training that muscle to do it under weight. If you can exhale for 30 seconds through a straw with weight on your diaphragm, brother, you're going to be able to drive through any note you got. But if you're talking about rasp, there's only two ways you're getting that. Either you're Ronnie James fucking Dio and it's built in, and God bless his, departed soul. I wish I was that lucky. I had to train mine, and what that means is you got to destroy your vocals a little bit. I started with falsetto, and then I started trying to scream while doing falsetto, and by teaching myself to do that, it's literally screaming while doing falsetto, which is your head voice. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you probably need a little bit of vocal training. Doing that enough eventually shrapneled my vocal cords enough to where I could give you a hard edge in my chest voice, and same thing, try practice a scream while being on pitch, and eventually you'll find the sweet spot. But honestly, it's a dangerous practice without having a teacher and a mentor to guide you through the process.
Yeah.
Which is why I recommend to anyone who's wanting to learn to sing, don't just take notes from a guy online like me. Find a vocal coach. Find somebody who can work with you on a regular basis, because it's not like guitar or bass where somebody can just put your hands here and no, there's techniques that they're going to teach you and exercises that they're going to make you do to try and get you to do on the inside what they need you to do. So I hope that answers your question, Diago, and a good one.
Will there be official snow globes?
Can't say no.
Because of the album art.
Yeah.
It took me a second. I was like, I mean, that's a great merch idea, but like, oh
God, now I
shit.
feel slow.
No, legitimately, that is a great merch idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Stolen.
Yeah. Just in time for Christmas. I
Just
guess.
in
We'll
time
look at
for
that.
Christmas. All right.
Let's see. This one's for me, I guess. Will the beard get a trim on his guitar at some point? The golly things that would happen would be mind blowing. I don't need a fucking trim. No. I love a good trim arm. I only have one guitar that has it, and the only reason I don't currently have them on any of my 7 strings is because they don't come with a trim. So if I have it my way in the future, I would eventually like to have that option.
I'll say also I don't know if anyone's come up with a trim system that's also headless.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, James does have guitars that have headstocks and everything, but I mean, like guitar-wise, he and I both have a love for like headless guitars just because they're really well balanced.
Yeah.
There's like no neck dive and it's super comfy to play.
You just wanna look cool,
Sort of
man.
brief plug that I think is appropriate. Ormsby guitars have
Fantastic.
they have a really killer headless model called the Goliath that I have a couple at home. James just got his, and they're just beautiful instruments. And yeah, I guess because you can't put a trim arm on a headless yet, that, and I think doing tremolo on multi-scale
It's also
can be
a problem.
really weird. So
So maybe never.
I don't know.
We'll
Right.
figure it out.
All right. Can you please write a song called "Plants Need Dirt"? I've been waiting for like 13 years. Shippy chat, bro. I don't know what you're on, but can I get some?
Blue Chippy Chat. That name sounds
That's
familiar.
Chloe.
Oh.
Okay, I
What
thought I knew the name.
Damn it, Chloe.
Anyone in the chat, Blue Chippy Chap is my sister Chloe.
Oh,
Sorry,
Lord. Call outs. Call outs.
Yeah.
Scat singing section Earworm was fantastic. Are we getting a full length epic of scat vocals and vibra slap?
Yes.
I.
It will probably happen.
If the music calls for it, if we feel, the pull, I can't say no.
Let us know if you want a all scat version of Opus, and we'll see if we can.
Oh,
make
Christ.
that,
Why
make
are
that
you
work.
making these promises? You guys put out the most impressive debut album since Native Construct, in my opinion. Well, thank you, Beardfish.
Oh, Beerfish, awesome.
Thank you, friend.
No, but that's not the first time we've heard that too.
Now I'm intrigued. What
Era.
okay
for-
era Genesis does your band cover,
So-
and how can I follow?
So I'm in a band called Abacab, the music of Genesis / Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel. We do all eras, so we go from the beginning, from Genesis to Revelation. So the first album, all the way up to We Can't Dance. We will eventually do Calling All Stations, but everything in there we have done. Usually our set lists are about 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours. And you can find us on Facebook. We do also have a YouTube page where you can find all of our live performances. We actually just did a full performance of the Seconds Out record in its entirety, plus a couple bonus tracks. So you can find that on our YouTube page as well. And we play all over the East Coast. So if you live on the East Coast, come check us out.
Hell yeah.
Plug.
Nice plug. Let's see, there was another one.
How do I set up a guitar lesson?
With
From-
Jamesy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From Benny Boy.
I've been trying. to get you some guitar lessons for years, Ben.
Oh, is that Ben?
Yeah, old Benny boy.
Ben, if you don't just hit up James and get a guitar lesson.
You got a phone, boss.
Yeah, I'm
Dial the number.
I'm here for you, baby.
Mutiny, Images and Words Without Hesitation, going back to the Dream Theater thing, probably their favorite.
Yeah.
I'm an SDOIT fan as well, James. Such great guitar writing on that album.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. It's honestly the first Dream Theater album that entered into like the modern metal era, I would say. Like that feels like it's in the 2000s, right? Because like Scenes from Memory and earlier like have an element of still kind of feeling like they're in the 90s, which in fairness they were, but like the guitar tone and everything sounds like it's in the 90s. But then 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence feels heavier in a different way. So
Right.
Let's see.
we've been listening to their music since we were teenagers. So we've got some opinions, right?
And I think, just putting this out there, you guys want to go for about 10 more minutes so we can
That's a good
do
idea.
some new album stuff. So we got 10 more minutes. Make them good.
Make them good. All right, so if either one of you were to miss a live tour, who would you like to fill in for you?
Oh,
Portnoy.
I would also appreciate that.
I'm gonna lose my
I don't
job.
know.
I mean,
I'll be honest, about the only two guys that I would want to hear sing my parts would be either Russell Allen or Jorn Lund.
yeah.
Yeah, if
I
we're
would-
allowed to just pick any player, then yeah, fucking great.
Yeah.
See, my brain interpreted that as a realistic, like, okay, who would we
Oh
find?
no, I
have
was
no idea.
going far left field, dreaming the dreamest dream that ever
Yeah.
dreamed of 7 dreams. So,
For me, it would probably be someone like Jacob Umansky from Intervals. Our playing styles are similar, and so I think he would be able to do that. He's also an incredible player, so.
this is actually kind of tough for me because
I'll be honest, I don't want to miss a tour, so.
I don't.
Yeah, see,
yeah, I don't want to miss a tour.
Realistically, it's the kind of thing where, like, if something happened to one of us, it's honestly just as possible or likely that the tour would just get canceled, which of course sucks. But like, you know, it like so much of what makes this machine run is the interplay of all 4 of us, and so one of us not being part of it would make it very difficult to pull through on that.
I guess
But who knows, you know?
I'll say if I could have him, John Petrucci, but he has to play one of my guitars upside down. Because if you didn't know, I'm left-handed.
All right, so let's go on to what are some of your inspirations other than prog rock / prog metal bands
here
and artists?
we
From
go.
Kenan, good question. Good question.
Paul.
So out of everybody in the band, I probably listen to like the most widest random variety of music. I mean, I will listen to things from legitimately Gloria Estefan, Limp Bizkit, like
the nookies.
yeah, exactly. Cole loves the Red Hot Chili
Nope.
Peppers.
He really loves them.
Nope.
Yeah.
A lot of prog stuff, aside from prog, like I listen to 80s stuff too, like Def Leppard. Like I grew up on like Def Leppard in Boston.
Yeah.
A bunch of the new metal stuff.
Yeah.
Basically anything besides like super sad, depressing country, like you know, like She Took My Dog, and My Beer, and
She
My
Took
Truck.
My Dog.
Anything from the 70s and back.
Yeah,
Just gone. That's fair.
yeah.
Movie scores for me. I like movie scores. So like encapsulate like the feeling that I hope to get from music. Just that like that sort of like soaring, like uplifting feeling. So I love to take ideas that you would expect to find in scores and then put them into the kind of creative environment that we're in personally.
And that's also true for me. I love movie scores. I'm a rabid horror fan, in case you can't tell. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I love horror movie scores to death. And that kind of influence has made it into Opus. Believe it or not, it's more subtle, but it's in there.
Yeah.
I really love opera.
Nice.
Like honestly,
Nice.
I wish I took I had a chance back in the day to actually go to school for that. But alas. But other than that, you know, I love jazz. I when I was a kid, I listened to a lot of classic rock, southern rock. The Shags is one of my favorite bands of all
God,
time.
there it is. I knew it was coming.
And that's not a joke. I have listened to the Shags' Philosophy of the World. I think I got it up to 50 times at this point. Like if I'm driving by myself for more than an hour, I'll listen to it at least twice.
Damn.
If you haven't heard the Shags, after this, go on YouTube, Philosophy of the World by the Shags. You will be
You'll have
an awakening.
anything you think you expect from just the band name or whatever, you're wrong. That's basically what it is. You will be completely surprised for sure.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
For me,
Oh, you said that?
God dang it,
Potion setup.
For me, influences that like actually inspire my creative like process. I would have to say if it's not in the progressive realm, it's probably leaning into some of the classical realm. Some of the more brooding composers like Dvorak or Rachmaninoff. Because I've always been a fan of the heavy sound, right? And so the best way to get that is get you some Rachmaninoff, friend. Listen to some of those piano concertos. Mwah. Sorry, distracted. Other than that, I think I went through a dubstep phase.
Yeah.
That kind of went out with
For
dubstep.
half of 2011.
That
Yeah,
lasted
really
for
did.
all of 5 minutes. Yes.
Well, for me, it was closer to like a year and a half. You know, I thought it was dope, but then it kind of disappeared. And sadly, nobody makes good dubstep anymore. I'm a weep a little bit.
So we're getting near the end. I want to answer some of these. Will we release another drum playthrough?
When Cole has more time.
That's your answer.
Yeah. Eventually, yeah.
Favorite song off of Opus Go?
Within the realm.
Shit.
Yeah.
Within the realm.
In the realm?
Within the realm.
Skip
Within
for a
the
second.
realm.
House at the Beginning.
It's within the realm.
Yeah, it's between Earworm and House at the Beginning.
Okay, then I'll probably say
Within the realm.
oh,
Be on my
that's such a
side.
hard question for me to answer. I'll take no, you know what, I'll say And Then There Was One is probably one of my favorite tracks. It
That
has
is a good one.
It has one of the most beautiful guitar solos on the whole album. It's
I just
awesome.
played Wonderwall backwards. That's all I did. Let's see. Have you guys heard the first Scorpions album? They definitely haven't. I have,
No.
and I also listened. I've listened to all the Scorpion albums from the '70s. Love them all. Let's see, intervals.
Livy, don't give away the secrets.
Yeah, stop it. A24 movies. I love them. They're fucking weird, and I love them. Kick-Ass album. Duh. I'm kidding.
Dubstep face. Screw you, Ben.
You
Love
you have to be influenced by Devin Townsend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't say that we're not. Definitely Ziltoid and Deconstruction are.
Landmark albums. For
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
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 And Cole, this is for you. Cole, do you remember Dr. Meister?
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Meister was the professor. I know. Yes, his name was Dr. Meister. His last name was
I
Meister.
love
That's
it.
not-
That's
yeah.
awesome as well.
He was the professor that taught theory 1 and 2 at the school where I got my degree from. So, yeah, definitely an eccentric fellow, for sure. But I mean, you would expect any music theory professor to be
Well,
an eccentric.
Was there
fellow.
any we missed on the socials?
Good question. Let's wrap that up. From Mellow Sid. How long did it take to write and record Opus, and could you detail the process a little, please?
Oh man, we should have hit that one so much earlier.
Damn.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
It took 7 years
Been 8
from
of
start to
7 years.
finish.
Start to finish, the writing of the music took like a little over a year.
Yeah, and then the pretty much the rest of it was very slowly recording. That's where some of the personnel issues come into play, along with the process of just learning how to mix an album that sounds good, because we did it all in house. We didn't go to any other engineer or studio to do it. So it took time. It took time for us to learn how to do that.
Ding, ding, ding.
And trust me, that question will come up again in future Q&As. That will get answered in more detail.
Yeah.
But before we go, we do have a couple of announcements about some future musical releases. I think next month, May 19th,
Yeah.
which will be the 1-year anniversary of Opus, we will be releasing an instrumental version of the album on all streaming platforms. So if you hate his stupid voice for whatever reason, hey, it won't be there.
Yeah. I don't know why it took us so long to do an instrumental version. It wasn't hard to do, but there it is.
There it is. And then also, going back to an earlier comment about our previous iteration, Ozai, this year we plan on releasing a re-recorded version of the Opus EP that we released.
The Ozai EP.
Ozai EP. 10 years ago. So like this year will be the 10th anniversary of that.
Yeah.
So it's being re-recorded all across the board with a bonus track that wasn't on the EP itself. And we're really excited about that because many of you guys probably haven't heard those songs, but they're songs that we really love and we can't wait to share with you guys. And also, the new album will be released next week. The new Nospūn
Yeah,
album.
yeah, he's full of shit. Don't buy that one.
It's going to be
Cold as
about an
free
hour
day.
and 27 minutes long. And it's 2 songs. You're welcome. No, that's it.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Have you guys thought about staging this as a rock opera / Broadway show?
I'm sure Phil has.
I definitely have. The problem is, I think in order to present it properly, it would take a significant amount of rewrite.
Yeah.
And I think that idea would be best saved for like a future endeavor, something more close along the lines of like a Ziltoid style record where that's actually how it's intended. It's intended to be viewed through that lens. This was not. It's definitely a concept album from beginning to end. It just takes inspiration from musicals as far as like the structure, but the presentation is definitely told from a singular point of view and doesn't leave a whole lot of room for multiple parts. It'd basically just be one guy on stage. So,
Well, I suppose that is it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, if we want to allow any more time this evening for like writing or doing anything.
Yeah, we should
creative,
probably get to
so.
writing that thing that you guys want. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This will not be the last live Q&A. We'll probably do way more of these.
Yeah, this was fun as hell.
Yeah, this is great. It was great. It was great talking to you guys. You guys have anything else to say before someone walks up there and presses the off button?
Trinity.
If you don't already, like, follow us on all our socials, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. Granted, in all likelihood, you probably found this live stream because of our socials. So if you already follow us, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, for all the show stuff too, like everybody was asking about shows, definitely keep an eye out for those because as
Yeah.
soon as we have stuff lined up, we're gonna be posting about it. So
I have one last thing. If you guys enjoyed this format, can we get like a thumbs up or something in the chat? Because honestly, I very much enjoyed this and I would be down to do it again, but it's really about what you guys are into. So please feel free to share like your ideas on the socials,
Yeah.
share it on here, because it'll help direct our ideas as far as like what kind of content to make and how best to interact with you guys because we want to be interactive. That's part of the goal here.
Yeah, and you
So-
can also. I think they should be able to leave comments, like even after we end the live stream. I think they should still be able to leave comments. So
They are doing the thumbs up. That's so sweet. Thank you.
That is awesome.
Now send us $1,000.
I don't know that we have that much sway.
Right. But guys, once again, thank you for all the support. We'll be sure to give another one of these things on the way. Keep an eye out for new music, and keep an eye out for merch, and keep an eye out for shows. It'll be on the socials. You'll be the first to know.
Sure. We appreciate it, guys.
We love you.
Deuces.
Bye-bye.
Bye.